Hello everyone. This is Group 4's final project, a fair movie recommender system. Group 4 consists of Jonilyn Dick, Janet Dick, Taiwo Omileye, Mawadah Sindi, and myself, Quinn K Wolter, and was taken on in partnership with Doctors Young-Soo Ahn and Yuru Lin. The point of the fair movie recommender system is explained when you first open up the interface, that being to pull back the veil on what goes into recommendations in a system like this. There are numerous buttons around the interface, marked with question marks, or up in the navbar a Getting Started button that will open up various modal dialogues explaining the functionality of different interface options and widgets so that you don't get lost as you're using the interface. Most prominently when you first load the page is the user cluster view, this being a cluster graph where users are all plotted based on their movie preferences. If I zoom in, we can see that every colored group has a representative user with a differently shaped icon and a slightly hue-shifted icon, those being users that are kind of the standard or basis or centroid for a given cluster. If I go ahead and query a user up here in the top left, and I will fetch user 5 for instance, we can see that their cluster is highlighted, all the others falling to the wayside, and that particular user is now the one with a differently shaped icon. The metadata for the user, including gender, age range, occupation, and location, are fetched, as well as a reverse chronological list of the movies that they have been rating, in this case 198 various movies rated by user 5. Using these ratings, we calculate a list of genre preferences, normalized as values between 0 and 100, and manipulatable with these sliders. These genre preferences go into generating a list of recommendations for the user. If I make changes to these sliders, perhaps lowering their interest in war and animation and increasing their interest in fantasy and crime, I can update the recommended movies to get a new list based on those preferences. I can reset it, however, at any time to go back to the originals. Let's say that I'm interested in comparing this user to others. I could hover over individual points to see some metadata, but for a little bit more permanence, I can go ahead and click user 5. I can click some users that are very close to him in this visualization, and perhaps I'm interested in other male 25, early 30s writers. I'll go ahead and make those selections using these search dialogues here. And when I hit search, we can see that every writer in that age range and gender has been highlighted. I can click on any of these to also add them to my counterfactual persona explorer here in the lower right. These users, after I've selected them on the user cluster view, can now be reviewed, their metadata displaying for each of them, and their movie preferences being accessible at the click of a button. If there are too many, I can always delete them and start over, looking at additional users elsewhere. We hope that this, again, pulls back the veil on what goes into the decision-making process when recommending movies and helps you make informed decisions as to what it is that you are viewing. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll appreciate any questions and feedback that you may have. Thank you.